So a diesel particulate filter is a filter that's in the exhaust system of a diesel engine. Its main purpose is to catch all the soot. So any oil-based combustion, there's a lot of soot involved. The particulate filter is actually there to capture the soot and the ash from the combustion process. Yeah, so from when, obviously with the emission standards getting more stringent throughout the industry, so I'm talking about globally, obviously with the emissions getting more stringent, all diesels have particulate filters now. Trucks, cars, buses, they all need to have a diesel particulate filter now. No, pretty much driving normally is you drive a diesel like you drive a diesel, like any car. The only thing is it does bring up a thing where the particulate filter every now and again needs to clean itself. Normally that's done during normal driving cycle, but in certain circumstances, especially when you're doing like short distance, cold start, short distance stop, obviously that generates a lot of soot, and that particular filter needs to purge itself to clean itself out. And that's where it could impact the driver, that they might have to do certain things in the vehicle to make it do this. The reason why DPF needs to be purged is because when you see smoke, if smoke is visible, it means that there's particles in that smoke that are big enough, like your soots and that make it visible to the naked eye, because gases aren't visible. Now the only way a diesel particle filter can purge itself is to turn those particles to gas. This happens at a very high temperature, so it's probably 500 degrees Celsius is about the start stage of a DPF regen. So it starts to heat those particles up and burn them off to a gas, which is carbon dioxide, which is a normal exhaust gas out of a diesel, but it just breaks its particles down into gas to purge it out. You don't have to replace the filter. It's not about replacing that part when it's full. It's about the system will purge itself out. But if you're driving short distances or you at low RPM on a motorway, for argument's sake, it cannot purge properly because the filter doesn't get hot enough. And the same as when the car's parked in a driveway at idle, it'll never purge. It has to pick their RPM up to about 2,000, 2,500, even 3,000 in some cases, to get enough heat into the diesel particle filter to purge it. So I'm just going to sum it in like active and passive cycle of a diesel particle filter. So they call a thing called active. Active cycle is the driving cycle. It will then do itself in a normal driving style. However, if it's passive, it'll then warn the driver by means of a warning light to say that the particular filter needs to be purged. What it's trying to then advise the driver is that they need to manually purge their filter because it's getting blocked. And then the different manufacturers have different processes. Some of them you will have to press a button that makes it idle up. Others, you've got to press certain buttons and make it get into this purge mode, and then leave the car idling or running outside until it purges that filter completely. No, all procedures in terms of purging the filter manually is in your owner's handbook. They will give you the procedures that you need to follow to do it. But you don't have to go to your service center. Yes, you can phone them, they can probably advise you, but you don't have to take the vehicle to a service center. In circumstances like that, the system recognizes that the diesel particle filter is getting choked or clogged up. It will then put the vehicle in sort of a limp mode. So it kind of reduces your driving ability, it reduces power to the engine, and all of the type of things to try and prevent that filter from getting overfull.